This is 7 Days of XYZ, a YouTube channel where I explore a new topic every week related to companies and technology. And this week is about understanding consumers with the help of AI. And throughout this week, I've been showing an example from my own work where I classified a number of text messages, whether they are positive and negative. And this can be used in any type of situation where a company want to understand if their customers are kind of happy or negative with their products. It could be used for reviews, it could be used for Facebook comments, or whatever that text data is. And artificial intelligence technology is making this possible, and more specifically the type of technology that makes this possible is something called NLP, which is natural language processing, and within that umbrella a technique called sentiment analysis. So in this episode I kind of want to dig deeper into what is sentiment analysis. How is it possible that your computer can read a piece of text and understand if this piece of text is positive or negative? One of the things that really excites me about programming is that sometimes programmers leave their code for everyone to see, and this is called open source, meaning the source code that is making the program behave in a certain way is completely open for anyone to read. This is like going to a restaurant, having the best meal of your life, and then having the chef giving you the exact instructions on how to make that meal so you can make it at home anytime you want. This is, I just get chills thinking about it. So in order for the computer to say if a piece of text is positive or negative, we first need to train that computer. So how is this really working? Well, the way that computers learn things is somewhat similar to how humans do. If I'm giving you a couple of examples with a thing and then label that thing for you, you're gonna be able to label things that are similar to that thing, but things that you haven't seen yet. Okay, this is overly theoretical, but this is a book and this is a book. And then you also know that this is a book. Even though you haven't seen this particular book before, you know that this is a book because you have seen a lot of books in your life and they have been labeled as books for you. And this is the exact same thing for computers. So what we do is that we take data that is already labeled like positive or negative. Whenever we put that into the machine, we can later take a new example and say like, is this positive or negative? So when we're looking at the code, the piece of code that I'm using for this particular example, it's trained with movie reviews. So they have taken movie reviews where we usually know if this is a positive or a negative review, and then we feed that into the system, and the computer will start to see that the positive reviews contain a different set of words than the negative reviews. Like, this is a bad movie. That sentence will only be existing in reviews that are negative. So what is really going on here is that we have a feeling, and then based on that particular feeling, we use a specific set of words for expressing that feeling. And if I'm happy, I'm gonna express myself in a certain way, and if I'm sad, I'm gonna express myself in another way. So what we can do is that we can use statistics and probabilities to go the other way around. So like, if a person is using a certain set of words, we can ask ourselves, what is likely the feeling that this person had, right? We don't know if this person that we meet have this particular feeling, but we think. This idea is something called theory of mind, which is basically the idea that you can understand your own like beliefs and feelings, and you can also understand that other people have thoughts and feelings. And the way that you kind of try to understand other people's thoughts and feelings is based on the things that they communicate to you, like facial expressions, text, the way they talk, and all those things, right? For instance, with the movie reviews, we can go through hundreds and thousands of movie reviews, and now if I read a movie review today, I can use that model to directly say if this unseen for the computer, the unseen text for the computer is positive or negative. The way that this particular programming library is doing this is through something called naive Bayes. And naive Bayes is the probability of something being true given some kind of information. So the library is based on movie reviews, and I'm using it for chat data, which makes me think, like, are these two data sets comparable? And that's the topic for tomorrow.